Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'm here today because it is Wednesday, so it is box day. And we are going to make a box for these Mentos fruits that were gifted to me in a swap. I think these were Laney. Okay, my OCD is going to mess with me because this one here is flipped. Anyway, all right, so let's make a box. I'm going to do fold flat because that's my favorite box. And you're going to pull out your pink book, whether you have the old cover or the new cover. The inside is the same. All right, David's out there mocking me. All right, so let's go ahead and make us a box. All right, so this is 5.5 by, can't be 5.5 by 5.5. I guess it is. Okay. Oh, the length is going to be the same. Duh. It's 5.5 by 3/4. So, do I do left to right? Let's do the up and down as the 5.5, 3/4. And I'm assuming it's 3/4 thick. So 3/4 by 5.5 by 3 3/4. So we're going to do, we know this needs to be 3/4, 3/4, 3/4. My up and down needs to be 5.5. And my left to right needs to be 3/4. Okay, so this needs to be 3/4. This needs to be 3/4. This needs to be a half. That needs to be a half. All right, so let's go ahead and math this out. Left to right, get a calculator. 0.75 plus 0.75 plus 0.75 plus 0.75. I don't forgot how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0.75 times 5 equals 3 3/4 by, let's see, 0.5 plus 0.75 plus 5.5 plus 0.75 plus 0.5 by 8. Okay. So you can get a couple of these boxes out of one sheet of paper, so that's always good. So our long side is the blue side is the 8, so we need to score it half. 0.5 plus 0.75 and 1 1/4 on both sides. And on the short side, we need to score it at 3/4, 1 1/2, 2 1/4, and 3. Okay. Let's get a piece of paper, which I happen to have a piece of white right here. Oh, let me see if this paper will work. I have this really pretty paper that I was working with. So 3 3/4. It's exactly, well, almost exactly 3 3/4. So we're going to use this pretty paper. Let me see if I have one that has a better back. I'm trying to see one that's going to work nicer on camera so you can see my score lines. So any piece of paper that's 3 3/4 by 8 will do. Let's use this piece. Okay, so we're going to cut this down to 3 3/4 by 8. So 3 3/4 by 8. Okay. And this is Stampin' Up! Designer Series paper. It's an old retired one. It's called Ever Eaten. And it is very thin. So I don't know if the box is going to work out with this thin paper. We're about to find out. Alright, so on the long side, we need to score it at 1/2 inch and 1 1/4 at both sides. So 1/2 inch and 1 1/4 on both sides. 1/2 inch and 1 1/4. Okay, so for our scoreboard users, that is 1/2 inch, 1 1/4, 6 3/4, and 7 1/2. Description box. Of course the description box is in the description box. The measurements will be in the description box. Okay, now the short side, we need 3/4, 1 1/2, 2 1/4, and 3. Is that right? It looks right. Okay, I know this is going to be hard, a little hard to see, so we're going to go ahead and varnish our lines. I guess you can see on the green side better. Okay. All right, so we're gonna put our score line, the short side, to the top. And it is the same process as always. You're going to cut off the 4 bottom right boxes. You know what, I'm gonna burnish these lines in now. It'll just be easier for me to see, easier for you guys to see. Okay. This is a great way to get rid of your scrap paper, especially at craft fairs. So with this paper being 3 1/4 by 8, you can get 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, maybe 5 out of a sheet by 12 by 12. All right, so again, just the 4 bottom right boxes, just completely chop them off and do the same to the top. Okay. So now you have something that looks like this. Okay. So now what we need to do is work on this score line here. So we're just going to cut up the score line. Take this, cut off roughly half, miter, and miter. Cutting off half is optional. We're going to take this next square line, cut up. The only thing that is a 100% you have to do is cut off this first box. You can leave your tab that long if you want to. I just like to chop off a little bit more. And then you have to miter and miter, or else your box is going to get caught up right here. So when you miter, you're really just trying to take off that very tip. It don't matter how much you cut off the bottom. It's just the tiny little pieces that you need to cut off the top. You're going to rotate it. So see how the one in the middle, we left that one alone. You don't touch it. That's your closure. And if you accidentally cut that box off, then your box needs to be glued and it's a permanent side. Okay. Cut up the score line, miter, or cut off half, miter. Cut up the score line, half of the last piece, miter. You never mess with the middle finger, okay? Corner rounder. So just kind of chomp that as best you can. Yes, this is a tiny little box, so chopping it may be a little bit harder. Okay, there we go. Perfect. So this was actually your starting position, like so. Okay, so I'm going to put tape. I'm just making sure that it will fold flat to see if I need to cut any of this piece off, which I don't. You're going to put your tape or your glue on that piece. Well, I wanted to use my glue, but it's kind of clogged here. Hey. There we go. Oh, I didn't miter this. Okay, so we're gonna miter. I mean, you don't have to miter, it helps it lay flat because you're taking off that tiny little tip of that triangle. All right. Glue on the perimeter. Nice and even, and then a scribble down the middle. And fold it flat. In a perfect box making world, you should be able to fold it either way and it lays flat. Mine never lay flat on both sides, just only on one. But that's all that counts. So that way you can mail these. You can put a bundle of like 4, you know, and charge them for, you know, like, oh, if you have 4 coworkers, here's 4 boxes or something like that. Look at that perfection. If only I allowed my glue to dry. And that is it, my friends. That is it. Box done. So you could do like 10 of these boxes in probably 15 minutes. Oh, what's happening here? There we go. There we go. Perfect, perfect Mentos box. Add a ribbon to it, add a little sentiment. You're good to go. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.